Hello, everybody. Welcome. Sara here. This is our weekly Facebook Live yoga class. Happy New Year. We haven't done a class since the New Year started, so Happy New Year. I'm doing this class a little bit earlier. Of course, the video will be on my, my roommate's dog keeps trying to come over here, and I thought she was getting up again. She is. Coco, stay in bed. Hey guys, everybody joining. Anyway, I'm doing this class a little bit earlier today just because it's better lighting, and I really got excited to do this. If you can't tune in right now and want to try this, it'll of course be on my timeline for you to try later whenever you have time. So this whole class is going to be based on the essential yoga sequence and the very basic poses. So I know a lot of people are very intimidated to go to a class and try yoga because they think they're going to be completely lost and they think that they're going to look stupid. And that's not the case, because a good yoga teacher will be able to verbally cue you into all of the poses. But I understand the intimidation. So I'm hoping in this class that you'll leave with a basic understanding of the names and what exactly you're doing with your body. So that'll give you a little confidence to potentially try a class in the future. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. The biggest thing I heard when I first started teaching, and with people that just started out doing yoga, is that they never stay, they always feel like they're not doing the breath at the same time that the teacher is telling them to. So what I want to say with that is, as a yoga teacher, we can't tell you every single breath to take, right? And everybody's length of breath is very different. So you may or may not be going along with the teacher's breath or teacher's cues in that moment. What I want you to do is really focus on every inhale and exhale. And whenever a teacher says, and exhale, fold forward, if you're on an inhale, don't inhale and fold forward. Wait till your next exhale. You're going to catch up. You're not going to be lost. Nobody's going to look over at you and say, look at that idiot. They didn't fold forward when we did. And generally, if you've been to a yoga class, you'll notice that everybody is usually a few seconds off from each other, and that's totally okay. The practice of yoga is to be with your own breath and to go at your own pace. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. And just remember to focus on your breath and stay with it. And then on your next, whichever breath that I cue, you can do that movement, okay? So you don't need anything for this class specifically. If you don't have a yoga mat, you can pull up some carpet or even a towel if you have hardwood floors or tile, just anything with some padding, or just wherever you're at. And go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Just a basic, simple cross-legged position. You can move the flesh out of the way. We really want to feel those sit bones grounded in the earth. Go ahead and roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down a couple times. This is just helping to align the spine. Excuse me. And then roll the shoulders up, back, and down. So we're nestling the shoulder blades in the mid-back, really feeling strength in the entire core. I want you to feel the tailbone really grounding down into the earth, and feel the crown of the head pulling up towards the sky. So from the side, if you come sit here and you're kind of hunched over, if you really feel the crown of the head, so shoulders roll back, crown of the head draws up. See how that lengthens my spine? That's what teachers are talking about when they say to pull the crown of the head up. Shoulders roll down and back for protection of the spine and all of the back muscles. So hands just come to a gentle, a comfortable position in your lap. You can cross them in your lap. You can bring them to your knees. And go ahead and close the eyes. So the first part of yoga is always coming to center. We want to first arrive on the mat, especially if you're going to a yoga class and you just dealt with traffic getting there, or you had a long day. or you're intimidated by all the yogis in class and you're worried about what they're thinking. We really just want to arrive in your body, on your mat, in your own space. So closing the eyes and just start focusing on anything that brings you present. That could be the temperature in the room. It could be some sounds in the room. We don't ever want to think of sounds going on as distractions. We want to use them to really come into the present moment. That changes things a lot. My favorite way is focusing on the breath. So choosing any of these options, whichever one works for you. To arrive to the present moment, just letting go of everything that you've done that day, anything that's on your mind. Easier said than done, right? But the practice of it is really what gets us there. Maybe even starting to deepen through the breath. Feel the belly expand with air. If breath is your choice of arriving in your body, feel your entire rib cage expand. You're going to feel it expand out to the side, especially if you're a chest breather. A lot of us are. We want to make sure we're sending the breath all the way down. The lungs come all the way down here. We want to make sure we're filling up the entire lungs with air. My phone is going off. So staying with that, breathing, staying with your own space. I'm just arriving here. The other part to yoga is setting an intention for your class. So today I'll give you an intention, since this is a beginner class. Your intention today is to just stay with your breath and stay very internal. Stay present with your body. Don't worry about what it can get into and what it can do today. Know that yoga is a journey and your body is doing the best it can. And being thankful for what it can do now. So once that intention is set in place, go ahead and flutter the eyes open. We'll just start to invite some movement in the body. So bring the hands down by your side, pressing them into the floor. We'll drop one ear to one shoulder, just doing some gentle neck rolls. Drop the chin to the chest. Opposite ear, opposite shoulder. You can move this, flow through this with your breath. So exhaling, dropping the chin to chest. Inhaling, your ear to your shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Inhaling over to the other side. So we're just doing half circles here, keeping the cervical spine nice and safe. Inviting that movement just in the forward motion. Just really linking the breath with the movement. Now go ahead, on your next, whenever you're on one side, stay there and use that arm to grab onto the ear and just add a little extra stretch. Just gives it a little more juice. If you have tightness in your neck, just be mindful. We don't want it to feel painful. We just want it to feel like a good, decent stretch. Go ahead and release. Drop the opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. Swing that arm up, grab onto the side of the head and just stretch. Nice. Release that. Keep the arms down, fingertips down by your side. We're going to inhale the left arm up towards the sky and then exhale it over to the side. So I want you to really feel that sit bone grounded. Our left sit bone is grounded, left fingertips are reaching to the right side. Shine the chest forward. So we don't want to be caved forward here. Sorry, shine the chest up towards the sky. We don't want to be caved forward. And then I like movement in my practice. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can stay static, just enjoying the juiciness of that stretch, or go ahead and add some wrist rolls. Maybe a little bounce. And then if you tend to hold some tension in your shoulders, you can even add a big arm circle here. Nice. Go ahead and switch directions, linking the breath to your movement. So taking it nice and slow. Last circle here. Now reach. Inhale the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale that hand down. We'll make our way to the other side. Inhaling, fingertips up. Exhale, reach over to the side. So feeling that right sit bone grounded, right fingertips reaching. So you should feel a stretch all along the side of the body. You don't often get into the side of the body, so this is a beautiful way to do that. Add your little bounce and some wrist rolls, just any movement that feels good, maybe some big arm circles. Hey guys, I see your comments. I can't read them right now, but can't wait to read them when class is over. Switch sides. I see all the little hearts and thumbs up, and I appreciate you. And reach. Nice. Inhale the fingertips up. Exhale that hand down. Beautiful. So I'm going to roll over onto all fours. We want the knees to be directly underneath the hips. So I don't want your hips forward or back. We want the knees directly under the hips. Same with the wrists. The wrists are directly underneath the shoulders. We want to roll the shoulders down and back. And don't let the belly hang here. We want to draw the navel in and up. So do you see that little tuck? It's just a little tuck, keeping the back nice and safe. Just going to move through some cat-cows here, warming up through the spine. On your inhale, drop the belly. Crown of the head draws up towards the sky. Don't kink the neck. Don't try to look up towards the ceiling. We're drawing the crown of the head up. So it's just a nice sway in the back. Stay with your breath. And then exhale. On your next exhale, press into the hands, round through the spine, tuck the chin into the chest. So the pelvis tucks as well. It's like an angry cat. On an inhale, drop the belly. Crown of the head draws up towards the sky. Exhale, press into the hands. Round through the spine, tuck the chin into the chest. Now just go through this at your own pace. Inhaling as the belly drops. Exhaling as we press into the floor, round through the spine, chin tucks to chest. Going at your own pace, just warming up through the spine. Our spines do a lot for us. We want to keep them nice and limber. Take care of them as much as they take care of us. Nice. Come to neutral whenever you've finished your last round. Then we'll just take a glance over the left toes. So just getting another side body stretch. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, looking to the right toes. Inhale back to center. One more time each side. Inhaling to center. Exhale, gaze over the right side. Inhale back to center. Nice. Go ahead and tuck the toes. Draw that navel in. So remember that little tuck. And then lift the knees off the mat about an inch. It looks really simple when you're looking at it, but it gets the body warmer really quickly. From here on your exhale, lift the hips into the sky, downward facing dog. So for downward facing dog, if this feels awkward for you, go ahead and round out to a high plank. So the hips should be in line with the shoulders. Hands are directly underneath the shoulders as well. And then just lift the hips to the sky without moving your hands or feet. That's where you should be in your downward facing dog. Maybe the heels are up here. Doesn't matter where they are. Everybody's calves are different length. When you do yoga more, you'll start to notice your heels sinking closer to the floor. We want to keep those shoulders rolled down and back. So I don't want you pressing into the shoulders so that the shoulders touch the ears. You want to roll the shoulders down and back. The head can hang heavy here. Navel still drawing in and up. Everything's nice and strong. On your next exhale, bend into the knees, look towards the hands, then just start to take little small steps so that the feet come between the hands. Now we're in a forward fold. You can have a generous bend in the knees here. Go ahead and grab onto opposite elbows. Just let the head and neck hang. Maybe even find a little sway side to side. It's a beautiful way to release the low back. I feel this a lot in my upper back and my shoulder blades, my neck. This stretch here keeps me from going to the chiropractor every week. Just adds a little space in between those vertebrae. I start to feel jammed up in my shoulders and my neck. Just do this stretch every day. From here, go ahead and release the arms. We're going to start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. So get a deep bend, not a deep, a pretty generous bend in the knees. Engage the belly and just start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, letting the arms hang heavy, letting the head hang until we make our way to standing. Once you get there, roll the shoulders down and back. And we're in Tadasana. This is mountain pose. So I love talking about this pose because this is generally this is us just standing. This is how we stand on a day-to-day basis, right? I want you to pay attention to your posture. Do you find a sway in your low back? Do you press your rib cage out, kind of like, even any variation of this? It could be drastic or small. Or maybe you press your hips forward and that's putting a lot of pressure on the spine, any of those movements. So I want to talk about Tadasana. What we want to do is tuck the pelvis under, draw the rib cage in towards each other, the ribs, roll the shoulders down and back, shoot energy out those fingertips. Do you see the difference between that, right? Drawing everything in and up. I'm going to go over a little bit so you can see that. Drawing everything in and up. The feet, imagine trying to rip your mat in half, or if you're standing on the floor, imagine trying to rip the floorboards away from each other. That should really activate it through the entire legs. You should feel that coming all the way up into the glutes. Shoulders are down and back. Crown of the head's drawing up towards the sky. Tadasana. Looks like we're just standing here, but every muscle in my body is active right now. If you came over and gave me a nudge, I wouldn't go very far. It's a beautiful pose to stand into your strength, into your power. So we come back here quite a few times, and we will in this yoga sequence. So remember all those cues. Come back into your power every single time. So let's flow through some sun salutations. From Tadasana, inhale, sweep the fingertips to the sky. Exhale, lead with the chest. So try to keep a flat back as you fold forward. All the way forward, go ahead and relax. Stay with your breath. On your next inhale, bring the hands to the shins. So we want those shoulders rolled down and back, navel's drawing in and up, crown of the head and tailbones drawing away from each other. This is our halfway lift. This is what I see a lot. And that's okay, but we want to start to straighten the spine. On your exhale, plant the hands and then step the feet to the back of the mat. From here, find a slight shift forward. Keep the elbows drawing in and drop the knees, the chest, and the chin to the floor. So we have 3 points of contact on the floor. And then on your exhale, we're going to slide out, dropping the belly to the floor, tops of the feet press on the floor, shoulders are away from each other, crown of the head's drawing up towards the sky. This is our low cobra. Elbows are drawing in towards each other. This is a great back strengthener. See if you can lift your hands off the mat about 1 inch. Now you'll really feel that strength in the back. Nice. From here, press up onto hands and knees. Bring the knees wide. Sit the hips back on the heels. Forehead comes to the mat. Child's pose. If at any time throughout your yoga practice you need a little rest, you can always come to child's pose. I've spent a few rounds here in child's pose before. After doing yoga for probably 7 years or so, I still find myself, sometimes you get tired and you just need a rest and you just let the whole class go without you, and that's okay. Yoga is not about our ego. So the forehead is pressing into the mat. Fingertips are reaching to the top of the mat. We're going to inhale back up to all fours. Tuck the toes, hips go towards the sky, downward facing dog. Nice. So rolling out to high plank. I'm going to give you another option for our vinyasa. When we come to the height, or when we step the feet to the back of the mat, you can drop the knees, chest, chin, coming into low cobra, or shift forward, elbows draw in, lower down halfway, press the tops of the feet into the floor, and then lift, shine the chest forward. This is upward facing dog. And then from here, we would just roll over the toes, hips go towards the sky, downward facing dog. So choosing the option that works for you. Neither one is better or worse. We're going to flow through that one breath, one movement this time. So on your next exhale, bend into the knees. Look towards the top of the mat, and then step the feet between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, slight bend in the knees as we sweep the fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Palms come together. Exhale, draw it into heart center. Coming back into our Tadasana. Fingertips shoot energy out. Feeling those alignment cues. Nice, strong, stable body. So that's called a sun salutation. We're going to flow through that this time a little bit faster. So stay with your own breath. Like I was talking about in the beginning. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the feet to the back of the mat, choosing the vinyasa that works for you. Remember, shift forward, drop knees, chest, chin, or halfway down. Inhale to low cobra. Or upward facing dog. Exhale, press back to all fours, and hips go towards the sky, downward facing dog. Or child's pose if you need a little rest. Couple breaths here in downward facing dog or child's pose. On your next exhale, bend into the knees, look towards the top of the mat, and step the feet between the hands, forward fold. Inhale, flatten out the back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Palms come together. Exhale, draw it in the heart center. Hands come down by the side, Tadasana. That is our sun salutation A. We're going to do sun salutation B. So from Tadasana, inhale, sweep the fingertips to the sky. Exhale, sit your hips back like you're sitting in a chair. So here, again, we don't want that sway in the low back. I see this a lot. I used to do this actually because it just felt, that's just the way that my body did that when I would go into this pose. But what I want you to do is tuck the pelvis under. So you really draw the navel in and up. Shoulders roll down and back. Fingertips are reaching up towards the sky. Gaze is just out in front of you, maybe 3 feet on the floor. And on an exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the feet to the back of the mat, flowing through your version of vinyasa. And dropping knees, chest, chin, or halfway. Inhale to low cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, make your way to downward facing dog. Nice. From here, we're going to inhale the right foot about hip height. As you exhale, draw the knee into the chest. Find a little lift. You see that little lift? So I'm making room so I can plant my foot between my hands. From here, my left foot's going to come in slightly, and then I'm going to drop my heel 45 degrees. So both sets of toes are pointing towards the top of my mat. My right knee is bent. I'm going to use the entire length of an inhale to reach my fingertips to the sky. This is Warrior One. Pretty simple pose. We want the hips pointing forward. Again, withdrawing everything in and up. You'll hear that a lot in my classes. So I don't want this sway in the back. We're putting so much pressure on that low back. Draw the ribcage in. Roll the shoulders down and back. So you'll feel, once you feel that, you feel so much stronger. Fingertips reach up towards the sky. Elbows are drawing in towards the ears. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Coco just got scared of something. Sorry about that if it startled you. So this right knee doesn't have to be a 90-degree angle. See how my body, the structure of my body changes? So I just come out of that so I can keep that structure of my shoulders right above my hips. This is a perfectly beautiful warrior one. Wherever you're at in that bend in that knee. On your next exhale, plant the hands. We're going to step the right foot back to meet the left, and then hips go towards the sky, downward facing dog. You could add a vinyasa in there if you like. Moving on to the other side, inhale, left toes halfway up. Exhale the knee into the chest. Find that lift, plant that foot down. Nice. Draw the back foot in slightly, drop that heel. Use the entire length of your inhale to sweep the fingertips to the sky, warrior one. Once again, everything's drawing in and up. Check out that back foot. So the your right foot in the back, we shouldn't be caving into that knee. So you should feel a lift in the arch of the foot. Breathing into the pose. Nice. Deep inhale. On your exhale, plant the hands. Step the left foot back to meet the right. You can flow through a vinyasa if you like. For this, we're just going to lift the hips into the sky for downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Normally we would go through a whole nother sequence, but I'm going to go right into warrior two. So right toes lift halfway into the sky. Exhale, knee to the chest. Drop that foot between the hands. From here, we're going to drop the back heel so that the foot is parallel to the back of the mat. So that opens up the hips. I'm going to windmill my left arm up. I lost my balance and over. So this is warrior two. What's happening is the top foot is in line with the back arch of the foot. Shoulders are rolled down and back like always. You'll hear that a lot with me. Fingertips are reaching away from each other. Gaze goes over the front hand. So just to check alignment, see if you can come into a 90-degree angle with that right knee. Give your back arm a little gaze. Sometimes we look like this. We don't even realize till we look. So just look over at it. Make sure both arms are parallel to the floor. Gaze is looking over the right fingertips. Deep inhale here. On your exhale, windmill the hands to the floor. Step the left or right foot back to meet the left. Hips go towards the sky, downward facing dog. Nice. Making our way to the other side. Inhaling, left toes up. Exhale, knee to chest. Drop that foot down. I'm going to drop that back foot heel. Drop the back heel so the foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Right arm sweeps up. Warrior two. So back angle of this. Shoulders are rolled down and back. We're seeing if we can sink deep into that front leg. The gaze is just as important in yoga as everything else. So you want to stay focused, laser focused right over that middle finger. Really help us stay internal so that we're not looking over at everyone else. Deep inhale. On your exhale, windmill the hands to the floor. The left foot comes back to meet the right. Hips go towards the sky, downward facing dog. Nice. Letting the head hang. From here, just invite a couple deep breaths. So inhale through the nose, part the lips, and exhale through the mouth. Letting everything go one more time. You can even make some sounds. Teachers love when you make sounds like that in class. It means you're enjoying class. I always try to get everyone to make sounds, but everybody's apprehensive. On your next exhale, bend the knees, look towards the hands, and step the feet between the hands, forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, draw it into heart center. Nice. Coming back to our Tadasana, mountain pose. Closing the eyes. Just for a moment, coming back to center, coming back to your breath, back to your focus, back to your intention that you set, just in case you forgot it. Nice. From here, inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, sit the hips back into your chair. I want you to look down at your toes. You should be able to see them. So the knees are not going past the toes. We want them back. You should be able to lift the toes. Place them down, really grounding down through the feet. You can have the feet hip width distance apart, or if bringing them together feels better for you. Do both just to check out which one feels better. We don't want the knees caving in again. We want knees and hips parallel to each other. So we don't want the knees caving in or going out. Parallel. Keep them safe. Deep inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the feet to the back of the mat. Flow through your version of vinyasa. Maybe trying the other version. Hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Nice. Beautiful. Go ahead and drop the knees. Untuck the toes, sit the hips back on the heels, child's pose. Just rocking the forehead back and forth on the mat. So the knees are wide. We can really feel the belly fall between the knees on on every inhale. You can feel the back of the rib cage expanding with air. It's a nice pose to get into to really feel the entire lungs fill up with air. Especially if you're used to breathing into the chest. Nice. From here, come back up onto all fours. We're going to get into the shoulders a little bit. So wrists are directly under the shoulders. Hi, Coco. And knees are directly underneath the hips. We're going to inhale, left fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it underneath the right. Dropping the shoulder. I should do this the other way. Dropping the shoulder and the side of the head on the floor. And from here, the opposite hand can stay next to your face, or you can start to reach it out towards the top of your mat. If you want to get a little deeper twist, you want to feel this in your spine, you can reach those fingers up towards the sky. Maybe even drop it on the sacrum. So we're shining the chest towards the side. Staying with your breath, especially in these twists. Slowly start to unwind the hand. Press into the floor. Start to reach those left fingertips back up towards the sky. Maybe add a little shoulder roll. And then release that hand to the floor. Nice. Inhale the right fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it underneath the left. Shoulder and side of the head go to the floor. That left hand is planted right next to your face, or you can start to reach it out towards the top of your mat. Letting everything go here. Maybe the left fingertips reach up towards the sky. Maybe you drop the hand to the sacrum. Maybe you even start to reach for your right thigh. That's a bind. Can get pretty intense sometimes, so wherever you're at, whichever version feels best for your body. That's what yoga is about. It's not about competing with somebody else in class. It's just about doing what's right for your body. Start to slowly unwind the left hand wherever it's at. Bring it back next to the face. Press into that hand. Reach the right fingertips up towards the sky. Shake it out, a little shoulder roll, and then plant that hand down. Nice. I'll just go ahead and sit it back on the heels. Whew, I'm sweating since we're going slow with everything. Swing the feet out in front of you. Once again, find those sit bones on the floor. Roll those shoulders down and back. You're going to flex the feet towards our face. Flex the toes towards us. We're going to do Paschimottanasana, intense Western stretch. This is a tough one. So we're going to inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky, and then exhale, just reach it forward. Wherever the hands land, that's where they land. You can kind of wiggle into it. Just enjoying that stretch along the backs of the legs. For anybody who's joining, we're just doing very, very basics of yoga. So if you've never done a yoga class, just going over proper alignment and cueing. If you can't tune in right now, feel free to click on this video anytime. It'll always be on my timeline. If you're still with me, thanks for hanging out. On your inhale, we're just going to start to walk the hands up the legs. Coming back up to seated, bring the right knee into the chest. Let it open up towards the side. So we're pressing the foot into the thigh. Once again, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, fold it forward. So wherever those hands land, they could land on your knee, they could land on your shin, maybe you can grab your toes. Wherever you're at, you're still getting the same stretch, no matter where your hands are. So something I like to call yogi breath. If you find that you want to get deeper in a stretch, so say you're here, if you inhale, really draw the crown of the head away from the tailbone so you're getting that straight spine. And on your exhale, see if you can hinge forward a little bit. So I'll show you what that looks like from the side. Say you inhale, reach up, and you exhale, and you feel that stretch right here. We don't want to round through the spine, so really try to keep that spine straight. Inhale, find length. Exhale, maybe you can sink a little bit deeper. If you do that on every inhale and exhale, sometimes you'll find that the pose looks very different from beginning to end. Inhale, start to walk yourself back up. Right knee comes in, extend it along the mat. We'll make our way to the other side. So left knee comes into the chest. Let it open up towards the side. Press that foot into the thigh. Inhale, sweep those fingertips up. Exhale, reach it forward. So the point of that yogi breath, inhaling with length, exhaling, sinking a little bit deeper, is so that you're not focusing on the stretch and what the stretch feels like. We're really focusing on using the breath to allow us to get deeper into the pose. So you're focusing more on the breath than you are that stretch, right? And it's just kind of fun to see how when you hang out in one spot for an entire breath, how it loosens up that muscle and you might be able to go a little bit deeper. It's pretty cool. So we're working with our body instead of against it. So instead of striving to reach forward, we're just using that breath to see if we can sink deeper on the exhale. On your inhale, start to walk the hands back up. This time we'll just bring that right foot into the left, coming into a cobbler pose or butterfly. It's a little more well known. So if sitting like this is tough for you, you can bring your back up against a wall. I don't know if you do that on these doors. And then just let the knees fall away. You can even use your hands to press the knees away. If you can sit here with a flat back, go ahead and cradle the feet, shoulders roll down and back, and then just start to inch your way forward. You can do little half circles. I like to do that to make my way down. Or again, using that yogi breath, inhaling, crown of the head drawing away from the tailbone, exhale, sink a little bit deeper, using those elbows to draw the knees away from each other. Nice, breathing down into the hips. Send the breath all the way down into the hips. See if you can loosen up using the breath. Imagine just relaxing the muscles. So a lot of times we're still holding on. See if you can just let go and ease into the pose. Nice. Inhale, come back to seated. Go ahead and bring the knees up. Just come back to a simple cross-legged position. Just gonna do a little spinal twist here. So crown of the head's drawing up, shoulders are down and back. That spine is nice and long and tall. I'm gonna bring the right hand behind the sacrum. Inhale the left arm up and exhale, bring that hand to the knee. As you exhale, twist. So inhale, length. Exhale, maybe you can twist a little deeper. Maybe the gaze can go over the right shoulder. Maybe not. Take care of the neck and the spine. Don't go to the point of pain. This should feel good. Nice. Slowly start to release. We're just going to bring both hands on the left side. Just do a little push-up. It just counterbalances. It's just a counter stretch to that spinal twist before we go to the other side. So going to the other side, left hand comes behind the sacrum. Right arm reaches up into the sky. Twist. And then bring the right hand to the knee. Using that arm to just give it a little more juice. Maybe every exhale you can go a little deeper, maybe even a little centimeter. Oh, I see little handprints from my niece and nephew. And slowly start to release. Bring the hands to the right side. Just do that little counter push up. You'll feel how that releases the spine from that twist. Bring the feet back up. Knees into the chest. We're going to make our way to lying down. So first we're going to do a quick boat pose. I am going to challenge you a little bit here. So we really want those sit bones on the earth. Hands behind the knees. Shine the chest forward. So see how I'm not caving in. Really pressing the chest forward. Lift the feet into a tabletop position. This is boat pose, Navasana. It's a very, very good entire core strengthener, really. If you want to challenge yourself, you can start to bring the hands off the knees. Maybe you start to straighten one leg at a time. Whew. I got real lazy during the holidays. This is tough. From here, or wherever you're at, we'll slowly start to lower down one vertebrae at a time. You might not be able to go slow right now. Eventually you will. So we're on our backs, bending into the knees, pressing the feet into the floor. You're going to come into a bridge pose. So walk the shoulders away from the ears, press the hands into the floor next to your hips, and lift the hips into the sky. So just like in our chair pose, we want the feet and the knees parallel to each other, hip width distance apart. So I don't want your knees caving in or going out. Draw them up. Kind of like if you had a yoga block and you just had that between your knees. From here, if you do have a mat, you can grab onto the sides of your mat That can help give it a little more juice, pressing the hips higher. Maybe you can clasp your hands underneath you. Maybe they just stay on the floor, that's fine. Nice. Just nice back bend here. Deep inhale, exhale. See if you can lift a little higher. See if you can relax your glutes. It changes the game a little bit, right? From here, release the hands if you have them clasped. And then just start to lower the hips. Nice. Bring the feet wider than your hips. Let the knees knock in. It's just going to release the low back. I hope you guys can see me. I just realized it looks pretty dark over there. So you can even windshield wiper the knees side to side, helping release the low back from that back bend we just did. Couple more postures, you guys. If you're still hanging in there, we're just going to start to unwind. So bring the feet back to hip width distance apart. We're going to do a reclined pigeon. So take the right ankle, place it on the left knee. If this is enough for you, you can hang out here, pressing the right knee away from you. If you don't feel anything there, go ahead and thread the needle. So grab onto the left thigh, raising the foot off the floor. We're just pulling that leg closer towards us. So the right foot stays flexed. The left, you can add some movement with that ankle if you like, maybe even bending and straightening that leg. I like movement in my practice. If you don't and you just want to stay static, you can do that too. I like to find a little rock back and forth, just feeling all the different sensations the stretch offers. Let everything go. Nice. From here, go ahead and release the thigh, bringing the foot back to the floor. We'll go ahead and let that leg go, and we'll make our way to the other side. So left ankle on the right knee, pressing that knee away from you. If you want more, go ahead and grab onto the right thigh, threading the needle. You can hang out here. If you want to add movement, go for it. Just keep that left foot flexed. We don't want to move that one because we're keeping the knee safe. If you want to move through the right ankle, that's fine. Bending and straightening the right leg. Maybe rocking back and forth. See what works for you. That's what yoga is about. Nice. Slowly release that foot back to the floor. Uncross the legs. And we'll draw the knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Find a little rock back and forth. If you're able to keep your sacrum on the floor, you feel a nice low back massage here. We're going to come into one more spinal twist. So knees are drawn up into the chest. We're going to take the left hand, bring it on the right knee, twist over to the left. Right arm comes out to a T. Gaze goes over the right shoulders if the neck, or shoulder if the neck allows. See if you can relax all your muscles here. I find that I tend to hold on to my legs. If you still are holding onto your legs, go ahead and let them go. See if you can fully submit to this twist. Use that yogi breath, staying with it. Focusing on the breath will help us stay internal. Staying present with the body and the mind. We'll start to unwind, starting with the gaze. Look back up towards the sky. Slowly start to bring the knees back up. Before we move to the other side, just grab the knees, give your belly a couple pumps. Just want to neutralize the spine before we go right over to the other side. From here, take the right hand to the left knee. Left arm comes out to a T and twist over to the right. Gaze goes over the left shoulder. Breathing into it. See if you can relax through the legs. Let the spine start to naturally unwind. Or we're winding it up right now. Naturally get a little juice in those vertebrae. Now we'll start to unwind, bringing the gaze back up towards the sky, followed by the knees. Give those knees a couple pumps into the belly. From here, coming into happy baby. This is my favorite pose, mainly because people are uncomfortable with it and it's funny. But it also feels really good. So we're going to bring the feet into the hands, drawing the knees towards the rib cage or towards the armpits. So the sacrum should still be on the floor. If this is difficult for you, you can grab onto the backs of the knees and do so. Or if you have a strap, you can lasso the feet and use the strap to pull your knees closer to the side of your body. From here, you can rock back and forth. It's my favorite also because it's just fun. It's fun. You can laugh. Feel like a little happy baby rolling around. Maybe straightening one leg at a time. Invoking your inner child. That's what yoga, another aspect of yoga is the poses that we do. We're really invoking what the poses represent. Like in Tadasana, how I talk about you being a strong, stable mountain, stepping into your power, into your strength. Happy baby, we could be invoking our inner child and just having fun and laughing and being playful. Nice. Go ahead and release the feet. Plant the feet back on the floor. Second to last pose, we're going to come into an inversion. So you could simply just bring your feet up into the sky. You can bring them up against a wall if this is enough for you. If you want to take this further, walk the shoulders away from the ears, press the elbows into the floor next to you, and then lift the hips up into the hands. So we're pressing the hips forward as the toes go up towards the sky, shoulder stand. Either way, whether you have your feet up against a wall or you're in shoulder stand, we're just feel how nice that is to release the pressure on the legs. I do this after a long day of standing at work. I used to find that it was hard to talk in that pose, so I'm going to come here. I used to find that if I would just go straight to bed after working a long shift and didn't stretch my legs or at least elevate them, I would wake up and I would take a step and it would be super painful in my feet. Sometimes I would wake up with what felt like restless leg syndrome. I started doing this every day before bed, do some stretches in my legs and at least elevate them like this, maybe even straddle, do a couple little leg exercises before bed, and it's a game changer, you guys, if that's something you experience. Try this out. If you're up in shoulder stand, bring the hands to the floor. Try to start to roll down one vertebrae at a time. It might happen, it might not. You might plop down, that's okay. Bring the feet to the floor. And we'll just start to extend the legs along the mat. Walk those shoulders away from the ears. Palms come to the side, arms come to the side, palms facing up. Go ahead and close the eyes. This is Shavasana, our final pose of class. Don't leave yet if you've been hanging in there. Shavasana is the most important pose of yoga. The reason why is because we've exhausted the body. Now we can let the mind relax. So I'm going to take you through a quick scan of the body. before we fully relax into Shavasana. So starting with the toes and the feet, just bring your attention to your toes, your feet, your ankles. Notice if there's any tension there and just let it all go. Just scanning up the body, noticing every part of the body and how it feels, feeling or bringing your attention to the calves and the shins and the knees. Bringing your attention up into the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the thighs. Just noticing how every part of your body feels. No judgment or change. If you feel a little tension, you can try to release it with your breath, exhaling it out. Bringing your attention to your hips, your glutes, the pelvic floor. Bringing the attention all the way up into the belly, the organs, the low back, the mid back, the lungs. Noticing how the shoulder blades and the chest feel, the heart. Sending your awareness all the way down the left arm, bicep, tricep, all the way to the fingertips. Sending your attention over to the right arm, forearm, elbow, palm, wrist. Just awareness of how they feel. Trying to let go of any tension you're holding on to. Bringing the awareness up into the tops of the shoulders and the neck. You feel that you're still holding on to some tension, just let it go, let it go. Let those muscles relax into the floor. Send that awareness to the throat, the neck, up into the face. A lot of times our entire body can be relaxed, but we still are holding tension in the face. So if you notice that, really squeeze, scrunch up the face. Let it go. Maybe roll through the jaw, the cheeks, the eyebrows. See if you can let all those muscles go. If you need to give the forehead a little tap, or the cheeks, you can tap it. And send the awareness to the head, the scalp, and the brain. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel. Mentally, emotionally. Again, no judgment or change, just awareness. Yoga can bring stuff up. And the point of it, another point of it, is to just be aware of those things that come up. You can analyze them later, but for now, we're just noticing. And then once you become aware of that, now any thoughts that arise, just simply let them go. Kind of like clouds passing by. Or you can exhale them out, say, I'll get back to you later. I notice you, I see you. But for the next few minutes, we're just going to relax in Shavasana, letting the brain and the body fully let go. I will call you back when it's time. Happy Shavasana. And slowly starting to bring some awareness back into your body. Start to wiggle the fingertips and the toes. Maybe rock the head side to side. On your next inhale, reach the fingertips all the way above the head, stretching from the fingers all the way to the toes, like a nice long good morning stretch. And exhale the knees into the chest. Giving yourself one last hug of your practice, maybe rocking side to side, enjoying that low back massage. And rolling over to your right side, using your right arm as a pillow, kind of like a fetal position. Whenever you're ready, pressing yourself back up to seated how we began. Bringing your hands to heart center and Anjali Mudra. Slight tuck of the chin, close the eyes, and just take a moment to thank yourself for trying this practice, for doing something that's really good for your body, it's really good for your mind. Possibly trying something new. Just taking a few moments out of your day for yourself. It's huge. We need more of that in this world today. So thank yourself, honor yourself for doing that. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice. I hope you enjoyed. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. I can't wait to come over there and see all the comments. And if you just tuned in, please check out this video a little bit later. I just went through all of the basics of yoga, not all of the basics, but the basic poses, just to help people who are scared to try yoga because they think that they're going to be lost. I really went over alignment and cueing, super basic class. So check it out later once this goes on to my timeline. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys are wanting. If you want to tune in every Wednesday, let me know. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoy your day.